Good morning and welcome. I'm Sandy. Before you move too far into your day, I invite you to spend a few minutes with me. We don't always get to choose what the day brings us, but we can bring awareness to how we meet it. Silence and stillness is something that sounds simple, but for most of us, it really isn't. People are really good at finding ways to distract themselves. And the moment that things get really quiet, we reach for the phone or we turn the TV on, we check social media, or we call someone, start a conversation. And maybe that's because true silence is a little bit uncomfortable. When the outside noise disappears, we're left with our own thoughts, our feelings, questions, and uncertainties. And sometimes we just rather not be left alone with that. So that's also exactly why silence is so valuable. Um, it is a survival mechanism that we would constantly be evaluating the outside environment for things that need attention, but we spend so much time searching for answers outside ourselves, then a lot of times those answers never really come to fruition. We'll ask other people what they think, or we'll search online. Intuition rarely is loud and obvious. It doesn't usually argue its case or demand to be heard, but it's quiet and it just waits. It waits for us to give it a little bit of time just to have that quiet, that stillness. It's a subtle feeling that something is right or wrong before we even can explain why we have that feeling. It's a sense of knowing that comes from us without knowing where we know from. So to hear it, we have to create enough stillness and silence for these things to come through. Silence gives us a chance to notice the difference between fear, desire, or habit, or just genuine inner knowing. So there's an old idea that muddy water becomes clear when you stop stirring it. And I think the human mind works a lot the same way. We often believe that if we think harder or we search longer or ask more people, we'll come upon the answer. But often that searching is just another form of distraction. Sometimes the answer only becomes clear when we stop chasing it. So take a moment now just to become still and allow your body to settle where you are. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently let it go. And again, take another slow, deep breath in and exhale. And just notice the quiet and the stillness that exists under everything else. You don't need to fill this moment. You don't need to search for an answer or solve anything. You don't need to know what comes next. Simply be quiet and still enough to listen. Imagine that glass of muddy water that has become shaken and stirred. The harder we try to make it clear, the more cloudy it becomes. When we finally set it down and leave it alone, all the sediment slowly settles to the bottom. The water becomes clear on its own. Your mind can do the same. So in this moment, stop stirring. Let the thoughts come and go without avoiding them, without chasing them, and silently repeat to yourself, today, I create space for silence. I resist the urge to immediately fill every quiet moment with a distraction, someone else's opinion. Instead, I allow myself to become still enough to listen. Listen to my body, my intuition, my conscience, and the quiet knowing below my thoughts. I don't need to force an answer or chase clarity. I trust that when I stop stirring the water, what is true will have a chance to become clear. Take one more slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the need to know everything right now. The skill of silence is about becoming comfortable enough in the stillness to listen, to hear your intuition, or even something greater than yourself. The truth has been there all along, quietly waiting for us to stop distracting ourselves long enough to hear it. Today, I practice the courage to be still, the patience to wait, and the openness to recognize truth when it quietly reveals itself. Remember, you might not get to choose everything that your day brings, but you can choose how you meet it. So carry today's intention with you, not as something to accomplish, but simply as something to return to whenever you need it. Thank you for sharing and spending this time with me today.